Hi guys, I'm going to take you through why strength training is so important for runners. Hi guys, it's Lucy O'Sullivan from Strength by Lucy, and I've had the absolute pleasure this year to work with Durrell and the Durrell Challenge here in Jersey. I'm actually a strength coach in Jersey and I do a lot of rehabilitation stuff with people. And yeah, it's been absolutely amazing to work with Durrell this year, and I'm going to take you through why strength training is so important for runners. All of this will be up online for you as well, so you can have a little look at everything. So, don't just add miles. What I'm trying to teach you today is that obviously you're runners, you need to run, but to become more efficient, it's best if you do some strength training. To become a more well-rounded person, a more well-rounded runner, it's best to do some strength work, some flexibility work. Obviously, you'll be sorting out your sleeping stuff, you'll have your nutrition plans done, and obviously your running sessions in your mind, but don't neglect strength. So strength training has the potential to prevent injury. That's the big thing that I love about it. It will also improve muscle activation, it will improve your biomechanics of your running, and it improves your speed and your VO2 max. So I'm going to go through some of that with you now. So preventing injury. The body is really lazy. The body is super lazy and it will always pick the easiest route. I've seen in the past many people, instead of getting their knees up and reaching forward with their stride, they'll kick their bottoms instead. So what strength training does is it will trigger the brain to use the muscles more efficiently, and that will stop injury. It's not only muscle growth that you get from strength training. You also get ligament, tendon, and cartilage strength. So all of the joints will be less painful. So many people have runner's knees or Achilles tendon problems. If you can do strength training, add a bit of strength training into your routine, that will decrease. Running usually causes overuse injuries, but obviously if you combine your strength training, it will give you performance gains and decrease the risk of injury. Also, bone density. This is amazing for older people as well. The Australian Institute of Sport really looks into this, and it shows that if you do strength work, the risk of osteoporosis decreases. So if you can get stronger bones, stronger tendons, stronger ligaments, you're going to be pretty much injury-free when you run. Fingers crossed. So it improves muscle activation. Now, your hip, knee and ankle are the joints that work. They're the accelerators, but actually the main powerhouse are the muscles, the hamstrings, the adductors and the glutes. Now if you can get them bigger, stronger, you're going to be much faster when you're running. They produce the speed. Pre-race training on hamstrings, there were quite a few studies about hamstrings and pre-race training. If you can get your hamstrings big and strong, your performance enhances so much, and it is injury prevention as well. So you're going to get gains in your strength, speed, and you'll be less likely to get injured. Strength work with running also improves your efficiency and your biomechanics of your running. So you get improved maximal and reactive strength. So when you're pounding the roads, you've already got the strength to deal with that. Your running economy will increase and your VO2 max can also increase, and I'll go through that on the next slide for you. But strength training can improve your efficiency, so your stride rate, you're going to become a more efficient runner if you can use the bigger muscle groups rather than kind of relying on the little muscles. And so this is why I love my job. I had someone this week, she just ran the Jersey Marathon, and she said that at the end of the race she felt fine, whereas usually, you know, and this is a marathon, whereas usually she said that without strength work she really struggled by, you know, the last couple of K. Strength training enables you to get over the fatigue, so muscle fatigue, and that's pretty much why we do strength training. It's to make sure that the time to fatigue in your muscles is increased. And a lot of studies as well, they show that even in well-trained long distance runners, this can help them. Also increases your speed and your VO2 max. So when the muscles get thicker, get bigger, there's more mitochondria in them, there's, you know, and it means that you can use oxygen in your muscles more efficiently and better, so your VO2 will increase. There are some studies that say that strength training doesn't help it as much as running, but you're already doing your running, so why not add in some strength work? The strength training will also alter the brain as well, so it alters neural patterns, so you'll use muscles that fatigue less, and that obviously makes you more efficient, uses less energy, and it'll make you quicker, and it makes running easier. And also showed 5K running times were improved, even in well-trained athletes, by doing strength work. So their stride efficiency and their coordination improved, and their muscle power. I love strength training. Can you tell? So, what kind of training is there? I would say with you guys, try and keep everything functional. So functional training means keep it as close to your sport as possible. I do archery. I'm not sure if you could tell from my archery target in my office, but I personally have to do more upper body work. I have to do bench press, I have to do pull-ups, things like that. You guys are runners, so you should be doing more leg work, and I'm going to go through some exercises with you on the next slide and next week. So I would always do, you know, power work, which is speed and strength, which kind of includes plyometric stuff, so the stretching and the concentric force of the muscles, so that's what enables you to be springy. You've also got your maximum strength work, so your kind of big meaty muscle work. You've got your strength endurance work, so that's kind of doing things like squats but more often, so doing single leg squats perhaps and just doing a lot of them. You've also got flexibility, mobility and balance work, and all of that stuff, you know, that kind of helps with the injury prevention. It gives you some proprioception in the ankles, for example, and from this slide, which will be loaded up, you can see that my lovely lady, she's doing some balance work on a buso ball, and that's kind of, you know, we add it into the end of the session just to see how she gets on. So I would aim to do strength work. I'd aim to do a bit of everything, a bit of balance, bit of plyometrics, that kind of stuff. I try and follow, and I still love this research, Charlie Francis. He did stuff on motor unit recruitment, so when the brain tells a leg to move, you know, is it just telling the leg or is it telling all the body? So it's how many motor units that you kind of switch on. He starts with go extreme, use the whole body, and then kind of condense it down and become more specific, so that you're not as tired later on in your training session. And I find that works pretty well with a lot of my clients. So I would always do explosive stuff, power work, and then you go into sort of plyometric jump things, so jumping up onto a box. Then you go for your maximum strength work, which would be more, and I tend to do it as more your compound lifts, and then more isolated work, so just kind of individual muscle groups, you know, calf raises, things like that. For you guys, just keep everything as close to running as possible. Keep lower body. Every day is a leg day for you guys. So, some of the exercises, and I will demo all of these next week for you. We do some sprint drills in the gym. You start, and again, if I'm following the kind of motor unit recruitment stuff, you start high up and working our way down. You do things like sprint drills. They use a lot of the body. Speed skating, you've got your box jumps, your knee drives, things like that. Then you get more kind of maximum strength stuff, but you're using less motor units. So squats, deadlifts, leg press, step ups onto a box with some heavy weights, lateral lunges, all things like that, using the meaty muscles. That's going to really help you, gain some power when you're running. Then you've got your more specific stuff. So these are more isolated movements, so they're using less motor units. Things like single leg squats, so still doing squats, but just you can do more of them, and it's single leg, so that burns. Wait until you try it. You've got things like hip extensions for your glutes. You've got your crab walks for the side of your glutes and your clamshells. Leg abductions, again for the side of the glutes. I would say try and focus on TFL, IT stuff, side of the glutes. And then don't neglect your core as well. Your runners, you need a strong core front and back, so you could do things like crunches. The opposite of that would be back extensions. So, all these kind of things, I'm going to go through them next week for you. And obviously the slideshow will be up online for you as well. But these are the kind of exercises you want to put into a strength training program. So the do's and don'ts, I would say don't do too much too soon. So your runners, you know this, you need to run a 13k. You wouldn't run 13k day one. You would build it up. You do maybe a 1k, you do some hill stuff, you'd maybe do a 5k, you'd build it up, then you do your 13k. It's the same in the gym. You want to do 100 kilogram squats, you start off with 5 kilograms added to your body, holding a weight in front of you, and then you build it up slowly but surely, and that's what's gonna really keep you injury free and get you the results you want. You also really want to make a gym program consistent, so you can't just go once a month and hope to get results. It's the same with running. You wouldn't run once a month and hope to run the best marathon of your life. You have to run consistently. You have to strength train consistently. Your goal is to become a better runner, so keep it as close to that as possible. Do running stuff, things that will help your legs, things that will help the glutes. You wouldn't have to do bench presses, to be honest. You could do press ups because they're less muscle recruitment, but I would say you don't need to do bench press. And focus on the compound lifts. I absolutely adore compound lifts. They're starting Strength by Ripto. It's an amazing program to follow, and he basically goes through the main lifts, and squats and deadlifts, they will get you the biggest gains. And just use strength work as part of your routine. You're probably thinking about your diet, you're thinking about your sleep. Add strength as part of your rehab or prehabilitation. So, you don't want to get injured when you run. Do a bit of strength work, do a bit of flexibility on tempo days or sprint days. Just add it in, make it part of your lifestyle. And the last thing I'm going to finish off with is a quote from Usain Bolt. And he says, listen, it's the work behind the scenes. The competition is the easy part. Behind the scenes is where everything is done to get that one race that you need to run. So there you go. You make strength training part of your life. It's going to make your run easy. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. As I said, I'm going to put that online for you. And next week, I'm going to go through the strength exercises with you, so you know exactly what you're doing in the gym. You're going to be injury free. You're going to get personal best times. And I want to hear if you guys do get personal best times from adding in some strength training work. So that's all from me today. I'll see you next week.